And now for the tale of the tape in this heavyweight showdown between the Dark Elves, who shall be led by Marathi, and the Vampire Coast, who's going to be helmed by Luther Harkin atop his mighty Deathshriek Terrorgeist. So as far as the build goes, to say the least, we're going to be throwing some shades. So in total, we have 4 groups of shades, which are very good against Vampire Coast. So firstly, they can close the distance, and they do have pretty good range. So the Vampire Coast isn't going to see them coming, and you are going to be able to get the jump on their guns and their cannons and a lot of their other high-value targets. And that's the big thing. Vampire Coast has some really good powder weaponry and guns, so if they see you coming, they're able to shoot you on the approach. It can certainly be very punishing. Also, on top of that, Shades are quite good against crab rushes and monster builds. So if they're using Prometheans, if they're using Mourngulls, or Big Flying Terrorgeist, these guys have really good armor-piercing damage. You can see they have 34 missile damage compared to, I think, 23 of Dark Shard. So their armor-piercing punch is incredible. Plus, on top of that, once you run out of ammunition, which does tend to happen in the Vampire Coast matchup, the fights are usually very grindy. The Shades are going to be pretty good up close. They have 40 melee attack, 32 melee defense, and 30 weapon strength. So they have adequate combat stats to actually go fisticuffs and beat down zombies. So I really like Shades quite a bit in this matchup. On top of that, we have 2 groups of Witch Elves, one here and one on the far side. So it's pretty much going to be the same setup. Each side is going to have 2 Shades, a Witch Elf, and it looks like Dark Riders as well in support. So one of the big things, oftentimes Vampire Coast is going to be using Fellbats, and you're going to be seeing Scurvy Dogs, and a lot of those harass units to shut down your missiles in conjunction with mortars and things like that. So you really need to be able to protect your missiles, which are going to be your punishing element against the Vampire Coast. As such, you bring Dark Riders, you bring Witch Elves, and that's usually going to be enough. I mean, if any heavy commitment comes in, the Witch Elves can kind of tank it, they can rampage them, hold them in place, and allow the Shades to do the heavy lifting. And against Scurvy Dogs and Bats, you have the mobility here with Dark Riders, who have 92 speed to kind of keep up with them and keep them away from your goodies. For the front line, it's going to be a little bit of a limp noodle build here. You can see it's going to be a couple Bleak Swords and Blackheart Corsairs, or actually just 1 Corsair and 2 groups of Bleak Swords. But I do have Witch Elves on the flanks as well. So we do in total, I think, have 5 infantry units. 2 groups of Harpies up in the sky just to deal with deck droppers. So if there's deck droppers, if there's Fellbats, if there's any flying threats, these guys are going to be able to hammer them, or at least hold them at bay. And on top of that, if they are using like a Flying Lord or any guns in the back line you want to jump on, Harpies are a great choice. We got Marathi as well, and she's always a good pick. She has good armor piercing, she has good anti-large, she has great casting abilities. Marathi is just a very solid lord, probably one of the better lords in the game here on her mount, Sulafet. So for the forces of Aerokrastic, he certainly caught me off guard. I really thought he was going to be going for some sort of a defensive gun line, or maybe, I don't know. I wasn't expecting this many Mourngulls, I suppose. So front line's going to be deckhand mobs, and I suppose I should have known about, at the rate he was advancing here. For a second, I was like, is that all? There's got to be more than that, but yeah, he's got a lot of Mourngulls. So it looks like in total he's got 4 Mourngulls, I think one of which is going to be the Night Terrors, the only one that does cause terror, but the other ones have good mass, good aggression. They can certainly tear up Dark Elf infantry and pressure my bow units. Mourngulls have 45 speed compared to the 42 of Shades. So yeah, they should be able to catch Shades. Got a couple guns in the back, the Black Spotter. They're strong, independent gunnery mobs. They don't need no help, and these guys are going to be able to shoot in, and if I decide to attack them, they're pretty good in their defensive capabilities. He's got Luther Harkin up in the skies. Luther can certainly put a beating on Marathi if you're not careful. He does have a Vampire Fleet Captain on a Crab, 2 groups of Scurvy Dogs to chase down my missiles. Just a very, very solid build. Very scary stuff. And like I said, it really caught me off guard. So let's get the show on the road and see if I can survive the rush. So firstly, a couple of the dogs are going to be poking in here, but I do have the Dark Riders and other troops, and I'm going to be taking the initial charge here. But, it's honestly probably not the best idea now that I look back at it and see it here on the replay, because he does have a lot of stuff coming in. So I send in those guys. Mourngulls just slam into my front line, and they're going to start butchering the Bleak Swords. Luther Harkin jumps in as well. And basically, I just wanted to hold these guys back. Although at the end of the day, if you really think about it, these dogs are both at about half health here for the cost of 1 group of Dark Riders. So it's not the worst trade in the world. And this does buy some time for my Shades and other troops to fall back here. Now in the front, the Mourngulls have collapsed as well. Night Terrors are coming in to fight these guys. Like, all my infantry are basically just going to be shreked, like, horribly. Now here in this fight, there are going to be some Zombos coming in. We do get some good opening shots here in the black spot, and Marathi's going to be going in to fight some of the Mourngulls. And here we're going to be using the, not the Witch Elves, but I think we use the Dark Riders to come over here and finish off these zombies. Yeah, we send in the Witch Elves to kind of hold them down. And Shades also charge in melee combat because, they have decent, melee prowess, like I said. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll be able to finish them off. But Marathi here is going to be doing a great job. Her anti-large, very useful. So she's actually going to be neutering the stats of these guys, putting them down to 18 melee attack with her Enchanting Beauty and the Heart Render and the Dark Sword. But the Mourngulls are really tearing me up over here. You can see it's a little bit scary. My Corsairs are going down rather quickly. Bleak Swords in the front line are terrified, and it's a heavy, heavy bum rush. Now over here I have sent in the Witch Elves, so the Shades are going to be pulling back. One of them did get terrified by Luther, which is, you can't blame the guy. But we do get a really good rampage here on the Mourngulls. The Mourngulls are going to be pinned in place, so now we have 1 layer of reserves, relatively speaking. In the back, we do have some Dark Riders left, but we're going to be holding the line here with the Witch Elves, who are taunted and hornswoggled. Melee defense is actually 0 right now, but this is all I need. I just need them to rampage so the Shades can just pour that 34 missile damage into these guys and really just kind of tear them to pieces. And the Witch Elves, I'm not sure why I pulled them back there. I think I was actually trying to pull them apart and see, you know, if he wasn't paying attention, for example, and I pull back, I can just get some free shooting, but I think he does see, so I re-engage there with the Witch Elves, and Shades are going to keep shooting. Up in the skies, Harpies are going to be jumping onto the gunnery mobs, so Harpies are going to be shutting down these guys over here, and on the other side, we are able to get Harpies on the black spot, and Harpies are considered infantry-sized, so the anti-large bonus of the black spot isn't going to be helpful. In the meantime, Wrathy doing a great job. She's able to hold these Morngulls in place, and my other groups of Shades are able to tear those guys apart, which is great. But now we have the Night Terrors coming in, and you can see we've pretty much given up the center pocket. Aerocrastic has easily won the center with his Morngul rush, but we've done very well on the flanks. We've won this battle over here and really secured the position, killing the black spot pretty much. And over here, we're able to do the same thing. You can see the Morngulls do overextend a little bit. Well, not even overextend, they just rampage. There's nothing you can do about that. So they get Rampage, and the Shades are able to tear them to shreds. So far, it's really the Vampire Coast here in the center. Balance of power actually a little bit in the favor of the coast. So right here, Luther Harkin's going to be going in for a huge strike, going after Marathi. He does have Von Hell's Dance Kebab, which is popped. So Marathi's in a little bit of danger, but seeing this, you know, there's some high-value targets here. There's Luther, there's some Morngulls, there's a couple other troops here. I am going to be popping a Soul Stealer, which hits everything. And that's going to be giving Marathi some of those fat, juicy heals, and we are able to finish off the black spot, and the Shades are all shooting happily, which is one of the biggest elements here. I need those guys to shoot, but man, he's doing a really good job just kind of pressuring me in the middle here and just collapsing, and it's a lot of stressful stuff for sure. Marathi has to get back. We are able to finish the Terrors in the night, but there's still so many deckhand mobs, and the Dark Riders, of course, have been trying to hold. Bleak Sword still going strong. Another summon coming down as well here in the back. You can see the Vampire Fleet Captain is going to be dropping another gun summon, which is actually pretty good against Shades. They can just march you down and do, you know, good damage against Shades who have only 30 armor. So in the meantime, Rathy's going to be ditching this fight with Luther, knowing that's pretty much a losing battle, and she's going to be going in over here trying to finish off the last of the Morngulls. So basically, I'm like, I need to get rid of the fast unit so I can kind of try and pull him apart with Shades, but, you know, Arrow's doing a really good job just kind of pressuring me, and the Shades are having to fall back from zombies. You can see here there's deckhand mobs chasing them, so, and there's these gunnery mobs. These guys just doing so much work. As they advance, they're just shooting into the face of my guys here, but it looks like something, that Morngull just slapped those guys up. I don't know why they stopped shooting. There you go, and you can see the damage output coming in on the Shades pretty good. So Marathi is going to be running. She does have Hornswoggle as well as Power Siphon on her, so I'm not wanting any of that. And a couple of the Morngulls are going to be pouring forward, but I'm making sure to focus all my Shades on the guns as well as the Morngulls. And there is also an Angry Crab caster. So the Vampire Fleet Captain is going to be coming back here on the Crab. And the Crab has 45 speed, so that Crab, believe it or not, is actually faster than the Shades on foot. You would think like the Elves would be able to run faster than a giant crab, but I guess you know, when it gets moving, it's got a purpose. On the far side of the battlefield, you can see the Shades have cleaned up this side of the battlefield for the most part. There's still some Witch Elves fighting over here who should be able to win this battle with the Harpies and finish off the Tide of Skuld and maybe these Halberds, and the other Shades are just going to be shooting into the guns. I wasn't paying the best attention to whether or not they were summoned. If I had known they were summoned, I wouldn't have wasted any ammunition. I would have just like shot something else, but a little bit of a mistake there. So this is another big mistake I made. So I went in with Marathi. I tried to get a Soul Stealer and kind of poke Luther in and out, but I didn't really, you know, take heed of these two summons right here. And they're able to punish me horribly. So this is a really bad turning point in the game. And you can see Aerocastic is going to be pulling ahead here, and Marathi is going to be running into the sunset. So right now Marathi is at 900 HP, and she's just being hunted by Luther. And Luther is one of the best pursuit characters in the game because as he's chasing you, he's also going to be shooting you in the back with his blunderbuss. You can see he's got his giant pimp pistol up there, and Marathi's certainly going to be getting chased off the battlefield. There's no way I can get away from that. So at this point, you know, I have pretty good quality on the ground. I do have 4 groups of Shades still online. One of them is like pretty much offline. Yeah, 17 models here. But we do have the Crabcaster a little bit isolated, so I was quite happy about this. I had some Witch Elves here. I'm like, okay, let's get the Witch Elves into the Crabcaster, and you can see him sprinting up here, just this heroic Witch Elf. Is she going to rampage him? And that Witch Elf rampages him, which is huge. So now it's going to be just the firepower. You can see the Shades are going to be pouring in. They do not give a shit about that 120 armor, and they're going to be able to melt this Krabby Patty really, really quick here. So you can see the 2 Shades shooting in, and the Crab's at 900, 890. It is just going down so fast. Shades hit so damn hard, almost as much as like Weight Watchers, but it's pretty damn close. So you can see they just melt that Crabcaster, just absolutely destroyed. So definitely some good value there. But guys, Luther Harkin is coming back in. He's looking for blood, and he's certainly going to be causing some problems. So I have some Harpies over here finishing off some gunnery mobs. Again, summoned ones. I should have been paying attention to that, but I guess it's better than just being shot by them. And we do have some zombies here that are pretty healthy. Zombie Pirate gunnery mobs. The Shades have piled into combat. One group of Shades is broken off, and I thought I could kill them quicker. And I almost brought the Shades with dual weapons. I almost brought those guys, but man, they would have been so efficient against these zombies. So here I just have to deal with Luther Harkin. I mean, it's looking really grim though, guys. Bounce of power is pretty heavily in the favor of the Vampire Coast, and Luther is at 4,720 HP. So we're going to be doing a bit of a tactical retreat right now. I do have some Witch Elves coming back in, and the Witch Elves are hot in pursuit here of these Halberds. And they probably won't be able to win. They're just so beat up, and these Halberds are, you know, almost full health, and they're in good binding. The Witch Elves are 9 leadership right now. So I'm just trying to pull back. I'm like, okay, maybe if I can get some really effective focus fire on Luther. I mean, the Shades will melt him very quickly. He does, of course, have the 15% missile resist that is given to most Lords. But here we're going to be shooting in, and it looks like Aerocrastic with the sick jukes, able to dodge a couple shots right there. I'm trying to be really conservative with my ammunition. And I do have another group of Shades coming back online. That 16 Shades actually going to make a big difference. So Luther lands right here, 4.3k. And now a huge volley just peppering him here. You can see they're just coming in. The zombies are chasing me. So I'm doing the old classic StarCraft 2 thing where you scoot and shoot. So you run, you shoot, you run, you shoot. Trying to, get closer and also run away from the zombies because they're very slow and get value there. So you can see he does Hornswoggle me, which is going to be great. It slows me down, it lowers my melee defense to 5 and allows the zombies to get in. But we've actually done like over 1,000 HP to Luther Harkin, and now that he's attacking this other group here, I mean, Shades not bad leadership, so we are going to be shooting in, just crossfiring, and one group of Shades, unfortunately for me, is going to be broken. So they're terrified, they're running. The Witch Elves in the low ground have kind of wrapped up the zombie-powered deckhand bombs here, which is good. And Luther is going to be taking a lot of shots from this full health group, not full health, but very healthy group of Shades who still has full volleys. So here these Shades are running, the 33 here, but they're probably going to be coming back. It is a natural break, so it's not a terror route. So those guys definitely need them back. But look at the damage. It's just so brutal. And Luther, he has to stay on the move because, if he stays still for even a second and gets hammered by these Shades, it's going to be trouble. Plus they have 40 melee attack and melee combat. So when he does land, they're also able to shank him a little bit. So quite happy with their performance so far. So I turn and try and get a shot as he does land here, but he gets a great little charge here. And the Shades, I do have them in guard mode to try and keep them shooting, even when they're engaged in combat here. So they're going to be turning about face and just piling in with their swords. Luther has 1395 HP. He's getting even lower and lower. The halberds are able to finish off the Witch Elves, but at a cost. I mean, they got beaten up, but yeah, for the most part, that's a decent little trade for him. So I have 3 groups of Shades online. Luther Harkin's up in the sky, probably going to be coming back in and, getting some pistol shots. But for the most part, our group of Shades who is out of ammunition is going to be charging in here into melee combat. So they're going to be going fisticuffs with the zombies, which is going to be good. Zombies, of course, have a numbers advantage, 106 to 43, but the Shades, I don't know. The zombies might win this in a vacuum. It's pretty hard to say just because of the bodies they have, and of course leadership is a little bit beat up at this point in the game. I have several factors going against me there. But Luther decides to land. He's kind of doing some jukes, trying to dodge a little bit, but he does get a breath attack right there. But in casting that breath attack, he also takes about 300-400 damage there. And he's going to be juking. He's trying. My Shades are pretty beat up, but this one healthy group here is putting a number of damage here on the zombies. Yeah, they're going down pretty quick. Luther, though, getting peppered from all angles, and the 16 Shades. I mean, we were talking earlier. I was like, oh, they're pretty much offline, right? But no, these guys are just buttering the bread right now. And you can see Luther Harkin is going to be going down 205, 172. And man, these Shades are just the heroes of the Dark Elf Empire. And you can see Luther Harkin's going to be coming in 70 HP, and Luther Harkin falls to the crossbow fire of the Shades. Awesome stuff from these guys. And now these other Shades, they are Hornswoggled though. So before Luther does go, he Hornswoggles, he tricks these Shades one last time, and they're at -1, and are they going to break? It looks like they are going to break. Zombies here are coming in. Bounce of power is pretty much dead even, maybe slightly in the favor of the Vampire Coast. You still have 72 zombies here, but I do have these Shades here. The 38 are going to pile into these guys, and they get a nice little charge. Shades have a charge bonus of 16 against that of 10 of the zombies, so pretty negligible difference there. But my Shades do come back online, and they're going to be, take a shot every time I say Shades this game, Jesus. And they're going to be shooting in here and doing some decent damage, crumbling these zombies. Of course, when vampire factions lose their leadership, it tends to hit them very hard because their base leadership on these type of units is very low. So here we're just going to keep kiting back, basically just waiting for this group of 22 to come back, and we're just going to kind of keep fighting right here. These guys just go into town. 62 kills, and they should be able to win this fight. They're steady, 39 leadership. The zombies are getting in there with their cutlasses, but for the most part, these guys should be able to finish off the deckhand mobs. I think it's going to happen here. -34, so the other halberds are going to pile in. So what I end up doing is getting my Shades. I circle around the back, and I'm just going to be trying to get a rear charge here, shooting in with the remnants of the ammunition here. And the rear charge should be enough to punish these guys. That leadership penalty, I think, is 14 when you rear charge something, so it's quite substantial. So we charge in there, and the Shades, it looks like the bounce power is going into my favor here, as the Shades do just kind of fight to the bitter end against these zombies. Zombies, of course, truly fight to the bitter end. They're going to be crumbling here as they're binding to this world, having lost their vampiric leader is weakening, and you can see the zombie-powered deckhand mobs are going to be going down. So what an insane game. I cannot believe that we were able to pull that one out. Like, I thought I was dead like several times. On the initial rush, I was like, man, it's brutal. But once we were able to catch a couple of the Morgul's with the Witch Elves, I actually felt like I was in pretty good shape. When I won the flanks, I figured I would be able to kind of, surround and just, hammer them down with the missiles. But when he got Marathi, that was a big game changer. I thought at that point it was 100% screwed because she was somewhat healthy and had a lot of winds of magic. Like, I could have gotten like 2 more Soul Stealers off. But, his catch there was good. He reacted very well. He caught me, he chased me, and I really thought I'd lost the game. But from there, the Shades really kind of, carried their weight. They fought to the end. They showed their dual purpose of being able to kill zombies plus just hammer down big targets like the Vampire Caster. And of course, Luther Harkin at the end. So man, it was a great game. So if you guys haven't seen Aerocrastic's channel, please make sure to check him out. There will be a link in the comment section below. He's an awesome dude, great player. We played quite a few games, and they're really fun. You guys will be seeing them with some very unorthodox units. You get to see some Grimoire, you get to see some Queen Bess. We got all kinds of good stuff coming. So guys, well, those videos will probably go up before this one. So I guess the hype's over. But if you haven't seen them, go back and check them out. All right, guys, thanks again for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.